Hey everybody, it's Mark again, and today we got something a little bit different that we're going to work on. Um, when I go visit my friend and help him repair his clocks, he offers me money and I refuse to take it. I value his friendship. Well, he always loads me up with clocks, and this is one of the clocks he gave me last time, and I've been giving these clocks away to friends of mine for Christmas presents. And so I'm going to work on this clock and I'm going to get it running and I'm going to mail it to a friend of mine for a Christmas present. And you can see it's dirty. It's a time only clock. It's missing a bunch of these little pieces. But and it's missing the back, and it's spring only. Cool thing, it's made in the USA. Movement made in USA. I'm not for sure who made it. It doesn't say who. But anyway, I'm gonna basically clean it up. I don't know whether or not the oil, the movement needs to be taken apart or not. I think I'm going to check that out once I take all this stuff off. Let's take the hands off. It's got a really small nut on it. And then the minute hand should just come off. The hour hand should just slide off. And then it's got a nut here to take the movement out. And the movement should just, it's got a nut right here also that I have to take off to take the winding stem off. That's what the key fits in. Now it comes off. And set this to the side and look at the movement. A lot of times they're marked. There's a washer, another washer, and then 3 screws that hold the movement. A lot of times they're marked underneath the dial as to who made it. I'm not seeing that information in this case. I'm going to take these 3 screws off to take this plate off, to take the movement off of this plate. This, I guess, would be considered the dial plate. It seems to run in most positions. I think it just needs a little bit of oil. There's a bunch of junk, cobwebs and stuff in there. There's not a lot to this movement, being it's a time-only movement. I gotta get out my eyes. Can't really tell if the spring is going through this post, which it is. With these hairspring type escapements, the spring comes around and goes through the time speed adjuster, which is this part right here, and then it either, depending on where this is, if this was up on top, it would go down through the hole, and then the pin goes through the wire, through the hole to hold the wire, or in this case, because it's on the bottom, it goes through the speed adjuster and then up through the hole, and then that pin holds that spring in place. If it didn't hold the spring in place, then this whole system would just rotate, and it wouldn't have the force that it needs to make it tick. Movement made in USA, and that's all it says. You know, I'm working on several clocks. One for a friend, one a person is paying me to work on, and then plus I need to work on my clocks. I got a clock that's coming today. I'm just gonna put this thing in my ultrasonic cleaner the way it is, without taking it apart, because, you know, I don't like these hairspring escapements. I know how to work on them, I just prefer not to. I could probably oil this thing up and it will run, but it is kind of filthy, so I'm just gonna throw it in my ultrasonic cleaner just the way it is. And a lot of people got a problem with that. Well, you don't have to watch my channel if you don't want to. My answer to that is, it's better to do something than nothing at all. And so I don't feel like taking this thing apart. I got too much other stuff on my mind, too much other clocks that I'm working on. And so I'm not going to take it apart. I'm just going to throw it in my ultrasonic cleaner the way it is. I rinse it off really well, dry it, lubricate the spring with some Keystone mainspring lubricant that my friend Cheryl sent me, because I sent her an early Christmas present, and I told her she didn't need to send me anything, but she sent me this. And I mention her channel a lot, Adair's Repairs. She's a lot better teacher than I am. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, which if you're a subscriber to my channel, then you haven't subscribed to her channel, because I have almost 2,500 subscribers, and she only has like 250 or so subscribers. Please subscribe to her channel. You'll learn a lot from her. She studies a movement, and she'll sit here and study everything, make little drawings and stuff. And she's very, very talented and has more patience than I do. And she would actually take this movement apart, which I don't want to. Like I said, I got too much other stuff that I'm doing. And so I'll leave a link at the end of this video, like I do for just Mike and Torsion Dell. And please take the time to subscribe to her channel, and Just Mike and Torsion Douse, and all the other videos that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because there's a lot of talented people out there. And if you like my videos, you'll like their videos. You see all that dirt, dried up oil that's coming out just for me using a toothpick? Just think what that ultrasonic cleaner is going to do. I'll get back. Check this out. I haven't even oiled it yet. It's just straight out of ultrasonic cleaner and out of my hair dryer after I rinsed it. Taken away. So now I need to oil the pivots. And I want to use some of this Keystone to oil the mainspring. So I got some oil on my Q-tip and rubbing the Q-tip around the spring to oil it. This Keystone mainspring winder specifically for mainsprings. It's a little bit thicker than the OW20 clock oil that I use. So it should stay on better. As you can see, it puts a light coat of oil on the spring. And I just grabbed a key out of my selection of keys that I have, and it fits. I said it fits. It slipped right then. I need a smaller key. When I go through time savers, a lot of times I will buy stuff that's on the clearance section, and a lot of times the keys are on clearance sections, and I buy them just to make up for the minimum stuff that I don't buy. And so anyway, I'm sure I got a key that will fit this without slipping. This is a little bit too big, but you can see I still haven't oiled the pivots, but as you can see, this thing is running in all positions. And that's what you want. You want it to run in all positions. Mainspring's oiled, so now I have to oil the rest. This is synthetic motor oil, ZW-20. Take a toothpick, snip off the end, dip it in your oil, and go around and oil the pivots. And it only takes a minute drop of oil to do that. And if you get oil on the movement, I got this oil here from the mainspring oil. You take something and you wipe it off because you don't want oil all over the movement. Like I said, just takes a minute drop of oil, and you're only oiling the parts that go round and round. And one other part, and when I get to that, I'll show you. You want to oil the pallets. The pallets is that thin wire that come off the escapement. This is the fork assembly here. Maybe you can see it. There's a fork assembly there, and it's got some wires that are on the fork assembly, and you put a minute drop of oil on both the entry and exit pallets, which in this case is that wire, and it will oil the escapement teeth to keep your clock running. Now, if this was a rack and snail clock, a lot of people will want to oil the rack, and you don't oil the rack. Rack and snail clocks are for strike systems, but you don't oil the rack. It'll stop your clock. It'll oil all over me. But I want to put a little bit of oil on the minute wheel of center. Minute shaft for center wheel. And this movement is all oiled up and ready to go back into the case. I need to clean up the case. Starting with a paintbrush, I'm going to wipe all these cobwebs off. Both on the outside and on the inside of the clock. And this paintbrush has got a Howard bead and wax on it. And so that's what I'm going to use to clean up the case is Howard bead and wax. And what you use is totally up to you. I just happen to have Howard bead and wax right here, and so that's what I'm going to use. And with paintbrush, you rub it around, and that way it gets in all the hard to reach spots. You could use freaking motor oil on this thing. Wood needs to be oiled. It needs lubricated. It's thirsty. It gets thirsty. It needs a drink. And so, if you want to use motor oil to give it a drink, so be it. Anything is better than nothing at all. And this clock didn't have a back when I got it. I'm going to use some of my plywood around here and make a back for it to keep all the dust and stuff out. And I have this rag right here that I use over and over and over again. And so I'm just going to wipe it down with this rag. This rag is saturated with Howard Beaton wax and New Life Furniture Mask and Old English oil and all kinds of products. These little beads or whatever are coming off. And so I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I might just leave them all off. Looking better already, don't you think? It's prettier. There are some spots in this wood that are messed up, so I'm just using furniture markers and filling in those spots. And then afterwards, I will wipe it off with that cloth. And it should look better than what it did when I started. Let that dry for a second, then wipe it off. I think it looks better, but, you know, to each its own. I'm using some stiff paper. I'm cut out some paper that way I can put it on a piece of board to trace it. And this goes like so. That way I can make a back for this clock. Using some spare scrap thin plywood that I had laying around, I was able to make a back. I put the hole in case they want to hang it up on their wall, but they can also put it on a shelf. So the clock is running a little bit fast, and I'm going to have to take the back cover that I put on it off to adjust it. But I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought this set of beads. So I'm gonna cut these. I'm gonna drill little bitty holes to glue these beads in to make up for the numbers that are missing. I think that looks pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Compared to what it had, I colored the beads because they were golden, so I put some furniture marker on top of them. That way it kind of looks like the numbers. So anyway, I'm pleased with it, and I think she'll be pleased with it. This clock is going to a friend of mine for Christmas. And so anyway, I hope y'all like this video. I'm gonna keep it the back off to keep track of the speed adjustment. I got it right in the middle now. In order to change the speed on this, there is no F and S. To change the speed on it, this way closes that spring, which makes it faster, and this way opens up the spring, which makes it slower. So I got it right in the middle. And so, again, I don't know who made it. There's no, it was made in the USA, but there's no maker's marks, there's no trademark. But it's a pretty cool time-only clock. And I was video chatting with my friend today, and she has several clocks in her house, more clocks than I knew. Most of them are battery operated, but she likes them, and she picked them up cheap for the most part. And I think she will enjoy this clock. If you like this video, please leave me some comments. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and all the other channels mentioned at the beginning of this video. And may God bless each and every one of you.